So good afternoon everybody. Myself Acharya Vishvendra. Today I shall be discussing on the emotional conflicts or the psychological problems that student faces when he or she appears for the exam. So this will be the topic of discussion today. So as you can see in this figure, suppose this is a student and she is appearing for the test. Then there are certain thoughts going on inside the head of the child, and the first thing is that she has a feeling like she don't remember. When the student will start working on the test, the very common problem that they face is that they don't remember the information related to solving the question of the exam. This is basically due to exam anxiety. As you must be knowing that cracking any exam is a game of two things, the brain plus the mind. And this mind has got three levels. The first is conscious mind, second is subconscious mind, and the last is unconscious mind. And we don't know to what limit it can exist. It tends to infinity, and it is believed that the entire information of the universe is stored in the unconscious mind. And unconscious mind is a global thing. It's like a global Google Drive. Anybody with the passwords can access the unconscious mind and can use the information downloaded for his benefit or the benefit of the society, people and globe as a whole. So let's analyze the first problem, that I don't remember. So thing is that when a student study, then information is stored in the neurons, and from the neurons it gets transferred to the mind, first to the conscious mind, then to the subconscious mind, and at last to the unconscious mind. But when exam is taken, then the reverse process happens. That is, information is to be fetched from unconscious mind to the subconscious mind, from subconscious to the conscious, from conscious to the brain, and you have to use that information in different processes, different things, and using those things you have to generate the output, or more precisely the answer of that particular question. Now there are different access mechanisms. Normally a student is having access to the conscious mind only, and he or she is just fetching the basic information which are necessary for survival, and it is an automatic memory system. So generally a student is having thoughts related to food, water and their survival in general. For adults it extends to food, water and reproduction, and it seems to be very sour, but this is a fact that generally a normal person think only about food, water and reproducing, which are the basic life purpose of a species. So you must have heard that we developed from monkeys. So we are ourselves animal basically, and that animalistic behavior dominates in most of the people. And the people have learned how to act to hide that animalistic behavior behind sweet words and fake personality. But if they are set to do something, then it becomes evident that they are still dominated by the animalistic behavior, which is about survival and having food, water, and reproduction as the main goal. So, if you want to think beyond survival, you have to first fight with your own brain. Because accessing information beyond the conscious memory or beyond survival is a very difficult task, is a very challenging task. It consumes a lot of energy, and the brain activates flight mode, in which the student, as the subject of discussion in this topic, want to avoid accessing information from the depth. So there are two different modes inside the student. One is the flight mode and other is the fight mode. The flight mode will make sure that student is not able to think to the depth, to access the subconscious mind or the unconscious mind. But the student know that if she or he has to answer the question, he or she must access information from the depth. So due to orientations in two different directions, the energy of a student gets divided. There are inner conflicts that leads to exam anxiety, depression, hurry, restlessness, and ultimately the reality of the student dominates. If a student while studying is dominated by the flight mode, then certainly flight mode will dominate and he or she will not be able to answer the question and will just struggle with thoughts and emotions. Whereas if fight mode dominates, he or she will soon be able to dominate the flight mode and access information from the depth as and when needed. And only such students are able to perform good in exams. Today, information is easily accessible online. Take any field, even the field of education, take any exam. Information related to that exam is free to access online these days. But the difference lies in developing the mind-brain system of the student to enable them to use that information for success in academic, personal and professional dimensions of life. So the purpose behind these videos is to develop a structured system of working in which a student is able to think beyond information and to access the deep processes involved with fetching information from the depth of the mind, which is the most challenging task and which is the only key factor. The topper students have inbuilt mechanism of accessing information from the depth, which is the secret behind their good performance in exams.